Okay. Cool. This guitar is going to get a complete makeover, and I mean complete. We're getting new pickups, we're getting a Floyd Rose bridge, we're getting everything rewired, we are getting a Floyd Rose nut, of course. It is a Fender Stratocaster made in United Snakes of America. Yes, it's got nice locking tuners. And the other big thing it needs, we're gonna refinish it. He's gonna have a lot of work. Yeah, acrylic urethane, reflex blue, non-metallic. Oh yeah, it's gonna get fret level. It's gonna get a bridge trem stabilizer, all new pickups, and a D-Tuna. That's what the stabilizer is for. Those D-Tunas, you know, they certainly detune unless you have some sort of stabilization to counter the change in string tension. They never really stay in tune. Eddie Van Halen's forays into detuning, he didn't really care if he was in tune sometimes. But anyway, he was a gifted guitarist, absolutely. Well, so there you go. We're gonna strip it down. We're not gonna strip the finish off, though we're gonna rough it up for this acrylic urethane. And yeah, it's going into the new spray booth, which is a marijuana grow tent. What do you think? Far out, man. Let's go. So I stripped down this black Strat. We're going to paint it blue. I've plugged all the holes. Need to remove the pivot posts, of course. So I just like to screw in the post, protect the top, some sort of leverage. And up and out. Just so that the water doesn't seep in and like a straw go into the grain and lift up the finish when we wet sand it. It's a precautionary thing, which I think is very important. Don't forget to do it. It really is worth it. It's no big deal to re-drill all these little holes. We won't need to re-drill those. We just might need to clean them out with a X-Acto knife or something. Just a little coating there. It'll keep it away from the end grain. There's already a good protection along these routes here, so I'm not too worried about those. We don't need to strip it down to the wood. Why go through all that trouble, especially if you're going to paint it a solid color? I mean, you got yourself a nice, thick, smooth, perfect base here. And if there's a few dings, scratches, chips, dents, we could do a little automotive body work on that to get around any of those defects. It doesn't make any sense to strip it off. This is polyester or urethane. It's probably polyester, I think they use. Both, they're both really hard, stable. You got a nice stable, smooth surface. So we're going to rough it up first a little bit so we get some good adhesion. Just go around the inside. Oh, I almost forgot. We're going to put a Floyd Rose on this, so this exercise might be moot. I got to bring this into the other shop downtown. We're going to get a special Floyd Rose template from StuMac and make that route before we do any more finish work. All right, let's do that. I'm going to seal these up with super glue and sand them flush because we don't want to see them. We're going to drill new holes for the Floyd Rose spec posts. Next step is to establish a center line by measuring here, 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 and I'll might add another one over here. That's pretty easy. I don't need a calculator for that. I had it. Ah. Nice sharp pencil. I like to make 2 marks just because of the angle the fret causes the caliper to sit at. So there's one here. Go over this side, do the same thing, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I think I got to just the very fact of tilting it at an angle. Alright, stratocaster scale length is 25.5, so we're going to mark that off here. We'll be using these old post center lines for alignment of this jig. No. Rock and roll. It's a Fender Stratocaster. Sorry, Bob. We're going to put a Floyd Rose on this. I had already routed out a recessed Floyd Rose route there, complete with a D-Tuna pocket there for the D-Tuna. Ugly as hell, but oh well. We'll black it out. This body, we're going to repaint it. We're going to rewire it to just a volume and master tone. Floyd Rose, replacing the traditional Strat. Actually, I had a two-post thing, which I plugged the holes and drilled the new holes here. Get everything centered up with a, we got a center line there to facilitate the measurements for all this stuff. And what else? Yeah, we're gonna paint it blue, man. Okay, so we have this this baby sanded down. We're prepping it for the one stage. It's actually a two-part finish, but it's nice and shiny. It's not a base coat, it's a finish coat with color. So it comes out all glossy, and you don't have to clear coat it. So so I've sanded it, and there's a few little pits here. So we're going to go over it with what's called glazing putty. And just okay. And just go over the whole thing and look for, wait on that a little bit. And it'll just doesn't take too long to dry. It says, I can't read it, I need glasses. So this paint is 4-to-1 ratio. So I know that it takes about 16 of these to do a coat on a guitar body. So we're going to do 16. And I keep these marked. I have one mark on here. And I have 2 marks on the other one, so I don't get them mixed up. You don't want to get them mixed up. There's one. And because I'm so cheap, add just a little bit. 2 drops of that in there. It's a reducer. Doesn't need to be reduced much, so just trying to. Okie dokie. It is activated. Okay. We are ready to go. Okay, so that's one first coat. I'm going to spray kind of light. You see it's not full coverage yet. We're just going to let that tack up for about 15 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so let's just give this in between the coats type of sanding. I'm just using like 220 and just knocking off any little burrs and whatnot. There's not too many. It's a little orange peely. It went on a little thick, and it didn't it behaves a little differently with the color coats than it does with the clear coats. It's a little more orange peely. No big deal. We're just going to build up that finish so we can sand the heck out of it and buff it out and get it all back together. I like to use these puppy pads. Disposable, absorbent, you know, all those wonderful properties, which also lend themselves very well to this application of wet sanding. They also, this off to protect the finish as you're working on it. I also, when I finish a body or something like that, I like to wrap it in this and deliver it to the customer. That way, it just nice way of packaging the completed product. There's a cotton layer here, and it's non-reactive for most all the finishes. So, and you can get them in bulk online. You can also use chucks. Chucks. They use them in nursing homes and hospitals. They're usually a little thicker, a little more absorbent. They work well. They work well also. Okay, we're not going to get too fussy about that. Just knocking off the high spots. Little lumps or bumps. Just a once over. So I just did a very light sanding. It's really not, it's not in the powder stage yet. It's still a little slightly elastic. There's some shiny spots there. That means that there's what you call orange peel. So it's like the surface of an orange a little bit, sort of a little lumpy. Not the end of the world. It's extra work to sand it out. What I will do on the next coat, I will use the full one part of, we'll add a little more reducer to the paint and see if it flows out a little better on the second coat. I'm going to try dialing the gun down a little bit. I was running it at 30 psi. I'm going to drop it down to 25, and I'm going to tighten the spray pattern a bit and adjust the paint flow as well, and see if I can get I'm going to have to, that means the pattern will be smaller. I'll be overlapping a little more frequently, but that's okay. As long as we get we want a coat that goes on wet and flows out nicely, so we don't have to spend half our life sanding the damn thing. Okay, that coat seemed to go on a little smoother. It hasn't flowed out fully yet, but yeah, it's a little wetter as it were. Yeah, okay. Pick up the little pieces of dust. You know, let's get this thing set up with all kinds of filters and stuff. But I think I'm going to start wearing as one of those painter suits. And I need to find a way to turn the fan on before, well, after I get into the booth, after I've sealed it up. Because I think, you know, dust floats in. I have to turn the fan on from the outside. Meanwhile, all this dust is getting sucked into the space. And I think maybe, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, they're pretty minor, but nonetheless, if you're doing like a white pearl, you know, can't have any of that. Okay, good morning. 2 days later. This is 2 coats, and probably we'll do a third. Didn't flow as well as it clear would flow, even though I added a 1 part of reducer. I'm not too worried. I'm going to sand it anyway in between coats. So we're going to give it a sanding and see where we're at there. I would feel a little more comfortable with a 3rd coat. Okay, so I just sanded this with 600 with the machine. I didn't go over the edges because there's more PSI. You know, you take the machine and you tilt it like that, it's much more likely to sand through the finish there. So you want to take something that's a little more form-fitting, that conforms to that shape. I'll do it by hand. Okay, so I've done a little bit of sanding with the 600 grit on the back here. Now, it's had a chance to evaporate a little bit and dry off after wiping it down. Or, look at all these little shiny spots. You see all those? We know that there, you know, has been some orange peel with this particular paint. It's not a big deal, but because it can be sanded out, but it's got to be sanded out. You see how those little shiny spots are? That's the original surface of the paint. The dull areas are what you have sanded. What we want to do is to sand it just down to the level of the lowest spot here, the shiny spot that hasn't been sanded yet. And so you have a consistent appearance, more like, let's see if I can find an area here. Yeah, like that. Dry that off. Nice and smooth. You don't see any little specks. You want to get all of those because they'll show up like a sore thumb when you go to buff it. Looking pretty good. Okay, that's it for this half of the video. Second half, we're going to bring this into the shop and we're going to wire up the pick guard and install the Floyd Rose and the D-Tuna and the tremolo stabilizer and level the frets and throw it all together, set it up, and rock it out. Please like, subscribe, and yeah, if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, we're having a lot of fun with our new grow tent over there. Yeah, a grow tent spray booth is working very well. So hopefully that'll give you some inspiration in your own shop. I like the kind of purple overtone this has. Looking pretty good. All right, well, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. And it came out right nice pretty. Yes, sirree.